Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this kind of like mini series I'm doing. This time, the guide is about the SR version of Lupusregina Beta, the healer version of her, and the one that I have right now on the screen. And luckily, she is way easier to explain than last character that was Nave. So let's get into her. And as you can see, she's not like a high level character of mine. She is just level 51, 5 stars, with arc light level 30 on 5 stars, and she has 11,111 of combat power points. So as you can see, she is not like really powerful, but doesn't matter. She is very easy to explain and tell you what is the best thing for her. First off, we are gonna start with the basic attributes, and we can see that she is very mediocre on attack and magical defense. And attack is not really that important on her, as we are gonna see in the next minutes, but magical defense is kind of like a nice thing to give her. As well, we can see that she has very bad defense against physical attacks and very low speed. So that is like kind of like indicating that she's a little bit of a bad character for late game, but at least we can see that she has an A on HP, indicating us that she really has a nice amount of HP and she enjoys receiving more HP. The basic attributes, ignore them, that is what I have her based on my relics and all of those things. So, to explain and tell you, well, much more specifically to tell the subscriber that asked me to do the guide what is the best for her, we have to take a look at her skills. Her basic attack is just a two-hit attack based on a percentage of her attack plus HP, but the attack never changes, so she ends up hitting with 50% of her max attack in the two attacks plus certain amount of her max HP. Her passive means that every time that she heals, she will additionally heal two allies with the lowest HP based on her max HP, but the percentage is not a lot. As you can see, it starts as a 6% and the max level is 8.4% of her max HP. So her first skill is just a normal heal. She's gonna heal someone based on her max HP, and that triggers the passive that is gonna heal another two people. And her ultimate is a heal in, let's say, an area of effect heal. She's gonna heal her team by a certain amount of her max HP, purifies one debuff from the main target that you wanted to heal, gives recover, that is 6% max HP regeneration before action during 2 turns, and that also triggers the passive, which is more healing. Thing to see, or the important thing to note here, is that all of her healing is based on her max HP. So that's why she has an A on HP, because all of the healing comes from HP. As you can see, accessory is not a lot. She's level 7, you start in the level 8. The first things are good because you're giving her more healing boost and more HP. So that both of those things means more HP and more healing for her teammates. Awakening level, you can see that she doesn't have anything, but I will be recommending to give her HP, like for example here. Uh, Here energy gem HP at level 5 based on percentage, that is always better than the flat amount of HP. And also the might gem HP and the 42 gem of HP, these are level 5, level 10 and 15, very easy to get. Oops, oops, this is well, I need to go to Lupusregina. and she hears. So I would recommend to give her HP gems because that will be increasing her HP and her max healing. Accessories and stars and things like that, don't worry. The stars you're gonna get them on the summons from the new world, on the temporal banners and the limited banners. She's quite easy to get as she's an SR character, not an SSR or a limited one. So going with the important stuff, the relics. As you can see, I have a Vermare set on her. It's a prismatic one, but these relics are not like the best things to show for her. It's just what I have her for the time that I use it, this character and so. But I'm gonna give you some examples of what is good for her. Like, for example, here having A on speed and S on effect resistance is very good. The more speed she has, the better because she's gonna play faster, which is important because she has a C rate on speed. So she's very slow. She needs a hand. She needs a little bit of help to play because otherwise people or enemy players or enemy NPCs are gonna throw her back in the turn meter with things like Ain's negative cast skill or a Seshi is just gonna steal her speed and outpace her, or both versions of Entoma can outrun Lupusregina. So by the time you have a single turn with Lupusregina, the enemy Entoma is probably gonna have two turns and it's gonna kill someone before Lupusregina has the chance to heal that teammate, things like that. So giving her a little bit of speed is not bad. Effect resistance is very good because the higher she has effect resistance, the harder it is for the enemy to put debuffs on her of any kind. Things like healing block or healing reduction, bleed, shock, burn. All of those things are gonna be harder for the enemy to put in Lupus Regina the higher she has the effect resistance. So that is good. The damage boost, that's literally useless because she can only do damage with her basic attack and when she does an assist if you have Yuri SR on the team and only Lupus Regina as the other Pleiade. So that is the only way she's gonna hit an enemy and do damage. So damage boost is useless. And critical damage resistance is kind of good because it's like an anti-burst attribute. That way a Mate Albedo or a Momod won't be able to delete her. So that will be kind of good. This one is also decent. She's gaining defense against physical attacks, critical damage resistance, so she withstands better against physical damage enemies. HP is the best thing for her. The more HP she has, the longer she lasts on combat and the more she heals. Effect precision is kind of useless because she doesn't put any negative effect on the enemy, so we're gonna skip that. Uh, in the weapon, for example, again, effect resistance and speed very good because she kind of needs the speed, and effect resistance is good, so she uh, she can last longer on combat, and reduction to damage over time is good because that means that if she gets inflicted with burn, bleed, or shock, she is gonna resist that damage a little bit better. But right now, only the bleed team is meta, so you don't have to worry about much in the sense of giving her lots of reduction to damage over time, so you can skip that. And this is not a Vermare mask, it's a termination one, but I give it to her because it's giving her an S on HP, thing that she really wants because it's her best attribute. And I know this is not the best set to showcase or to use an example to give you a guide of what to give her because there's also no enhance here. But I do have another character with a nice Vermare set, well, kind of like a nice one to use as an example. Like, let's say I want my Lupus Regina to go into level 100 and I want to max her to use her for whatever reason, right? Because maybe because I want a pure healer on my team, or because I'm a Lupusregina enjoyer and I want her, that I kind of am, is one of my favorite playlists, and especially with the skin. But that is off topic. Uh, for a, if for any reason you want to level her up, the kind of relics I will be giving to her will be the ones that I have on Bestonia. For example, yeah, it's still a Vermare set, but the focus is a little bit different. Yeah, I'm still giving her speed, defense, and HP. All of those things are good for her. Reduction to damage over time is like optional, but it's still good. The Vermare leather armor is gonna giving her attack, magical defense, and HP. In this case, the attack will be kind of useless, but magical defense, and HP, all of those attributes are defensive stats, which are good for Lupusregina, so she lasts longer in combat. The longer she stays in combat, the more she can heal, and the more utility you can get out of her, so that is good. The weapon, for example, this one is giving her effect resistance, which is always good. Damage boost will be kind of like useless. Defense and HP, S on HP, that is tremendously good. That will be good for Lupus Regina because she scales with HP. The base, for example, is a warrior one, but is given effect precision, magical defense, and HP. Everything on A rate. The effect precision will be useless, but all the other stats are really good, and that is what I will be prioritizing to her. For Lupus Regina, I will be giving relics that give her mainly HP, trying to focus on things that have S on HP. And as the rest of the attributes, I will be trying to give her things that have magical defense against physical attacks, and either some with speed or with effect resistance. Speed and effect resistance, like the last attribute, the one to prioritize will be HP, and everything will be basically defensive about her. Nothing of attack, no crit, no critical damage, no. And the enhancements, there are two that I want to prioritize as a recommendation. First one is Endless Cycle, because it gives you HP. The more levels you get of Endless Cycle, the more HP it's gonna get her. And especially try to get her at least level 6, because you're not only getting a flat amount of extra HP, that is like here, it is 1840, but you're also giving the character an extra 8% of HP. So you're giving her the flat amount plus the percentage. If you can get, like, for example, the level 10, that will be incredible, because it's an extra 20% max HP. That is a lot. But obviously, level 10 is kind of like impossible for a free to play player. So realistically, get the level 6. Use the level 6. And the second attribute that I will be trying to prioritize if I want to level Lupus Regina and use her in my playthroughs and all of that will be the one that is right on the left. It is impeccable because of the level 6 upgrade and on. At the start, level 1 to 5 is just critical damage resistance. That is not the best thing because, well, not all the characters do critical damage. Uh, there are quite a lot that do critical damage, like Momon or Maidalbedo, but you can find things like a Demiurge or SR Entoma or something like that that does flat damage or damage based over time. So that kind of like nullifies the critical damage resistance. But the important stuff is the level 6, because on level 6 you're not only gaining critical damage resistance for the character in question, but you're also giving her a boost on healing up. So level 6, you're giving her an 8% healing up. That means that all of her healings will be 8% more effective. For example, I have a character that I exactly have that, and is the anniversary albedo. Let's go for example here. Well, I have a, yeah, I have for example here impeccable at level 2 is critical damage resistance at level 6 with all the set enhancements combined, and it's giving her an extra 8% healing up. Of course, you can get, if you can get the level 10, that is an extra 20% healing up. That will be incredible, but obviously it's kind of impossible. Well, sorry for that. It's kind of impossible if you don't have very if you don't get lucky with enhancements, or if you don't have resilience, elix prism, and things like that, because it's exclusive from the what it's called, that game mode, from the conquest of the alliance. So for enhancements, I will be prioritizing end the cycle for more HP and max HP, and impeccable, not for the critical damage resistance, but for the healing up. Critical damage resistance, it will be good against physical damage teams, but just that. Mostly for the healing up. If you can get like both at level 10, you will be giving her a lot of critical damage resistance, so it's 30%. You will giving her a lot of flat extra HP, that will mean more healing or more time alive in combat, and will be at 20% extra HP and 20% extra healing up. So that will be like the main things to give to her. And if you don't want, or you can't, or whatever, or you're wondering, well, what else I can give her, will be anything defensive. Like you, like if you get like a level 6 impenetrable fortress enhancement, which is physical defense, or you get her magical defense, any of that enhancements are good. All of those are good. The more defensive stats you give her, the better, because the longer she stays in combat is the more she can heal, and the more she heals and uses her skills, are the more opportunities for the Bermare set to activate and reduce her cooldowns. That is gonna mean that she's gonna have her healings more often. So there is more healing for your team. So your team remains healthy for more time, and you can basically outlive your enemies in some cases. Like if you're fighting a composition without heal or without any kind of priest, you can take advantage of that. You can beat him on a longer combat. Um, you can go for a long combat and win over time, because they're gonna fail, they're gonna die because they don't have any form of healing, and you will have. But if you don't have a Vermare set, or you don't want to give her a Vermare set, the game recommends exactly what I would recommend as the second option, that is the Heartfire set. Increases her max HP, would that is very good for her, because that means more heal, and increases the healing of her skills by certain percentage, plus another percentage if the target HP is below half. So that set is all about increasing the healing and increasing HP. That is exactly uh, the things that Lupusregina likes, or what she wants and what she needs. Vermari set is very good to have her skills or her healings more often, but the extra crit that is giving you is wasted. So if you want her to like be your main healer, the character that is gonna heal your tank from 50% to 100% in a single heal, have a Lupus Regina with a Heartfire set. But if you want a Lupus Regina to be constantly healing her, and you want her to be with a heal as often as possible, well, go with a Vermar set and try to get lucky with the percentage to reduce the cooldown of the skill. Aside of that, I will say that that will be all. Prioritize to give her HP, magical defense, and defense. If you can also give her either speed or effect resistance, that will be good. All of those stats keep her alive more time, so she heals more, and the more HP is the better she's gonna heal. Very basic character, and now the combos. The character that she kind of like combos is her sister, her older sister, that is this one is Yuri, and because of her passive, the big sister of the battle mates. That basically is that when she attacks, there's a 50% chance of having another member of the Pleiades doing an assist. And it always prioritizes the one with the highest attack. So if you have something like Yuri, Lupusregina, and Shizu on the same team, well, not this one, this Shizu, and she has more damage, well, then she's gonna proc the assist on Lupusregina. But for example, people that use Lupusregina usually are people that are starting the game. The In fact, the person that asked me to do this guide was starting the game. So you at the very start of the game are gonna have Yuri, and you're gonna have Lupusregina. You're gonna have Nave. You're gonna have also normal albedo, and any SSR character that you can choose. You could get Cocutus, you could get Aura, you can get Marin, your Furios, things like that. Uh, in those cases, for example, I will say, as a new player, I will have Albedo on my team. I will have Cocutus on my team. It's just an example. That is two. Yuri and Lupus Regina, no? Three and four. That will mean that when Yuri attacks, there's a 50% chance that when she attacks, the healer Lupus Regina is gonna attack as well in an assistant. Well, doing an assist. That will be kind of like the little combo that you can pull off with the Pleiades, but it won't be very effective because she doesn't have a lot of attack. But uh, honestly, she plays very well with all the Pleiades members because, well, they are synergized with each other based on Yuri's passive. So if you manage to get a full Pleiades team, it's gonna be nice because, for example, the four players that I have here, the SR versions, you have Yuri as a tank, Cicera is the ranger or the physical damage dealer. Solution is the magical damage dealer, or you can build her crit, and she will be doing critical damage. And you have Lupus Regina as the healer, so you have like one of each kind. Or you could use Entoma instead of Solution, so you have someone doing area of effect damage and damage over time with bleed and shock, and they are synergized because everyone is covering a different role. Another thing you can do is going, and if you have Pestonia and her Arclight, you can put both on the same team, Pestonia and Lupus Regina, even when both are healers and cover the same role, all because of her Divine Boom skill combined with her Arclight. That basically is that when you ult someone aside of the healing, that aside of the purifying status that Pestonia gives, it also reduces the cooldown of one skill by one round, and if you get lucky, sometimes it reduces it by another round, so 2 rounds. You can do is basically have any other two damage dealers or a damage dealer and a tank of your choice. They play, they do their attacks, then you use the healer Lupus Regina to ult, so you keep all your team healthy, or you put the purify that she gives to the main target. And when Pestonia turn comes in, because she's also very low in speed, she's more likely to be the last character to play in your team. You use her to ult Lupus Regina in case you need healing. You reduce the healing of her, so by next turn she can ult again. That will do another area of effect heal, and you will be healing your entire team basically 2 times in a row. And you can combine that with Bermare set, so she has her cooldowns even faster. Aside of that, because she's a very simple healer, is basically made to teach you how are the healers in this game. You can combine her with basically any other SR character that you can see. Any character, aside of things like Nigun or Henry, because they are healers, and they cover the same role. Aside of them, you can combine her with whatever. Like for example, you can combine Lupusregina with this guy because this guy increases the attack and increases the turn meter. You can combine her with Edge Storm because she puts bleed and does damage to high HP targets. You can combine her with this one because it's based on a burn damage. Like they are very different. Like the Goblin does charge attacks and lowers the defense. You can combine Lupus Regina with any of these characters, and she's gonna work because she doesn't have like any secret combination of or synergy with a specific character to, like for example, we always playing them together. No, she is just a healer. Her skills are literally just gonna heal whoever you want to heal, and also heal another extra target with the lowest HP. She's gonna give a purifying status on her ultimate, and that's it. Like she doesn't give for example, a high tier defense boost, so you have to play her with a tank, like for this guy. That is a taunt based character. She doesn't give like a high tier damage boost, so you don't have to forcefully play her with Narberal or with this version of Navitar based on doing a high amount of damage based on the S rated attack. No, she literally is just sitting there, healing, and waiting for her cooldowns to heal again, and that's it. So you can basically play her with whoever you want outside of healers because they they cover the same roles. So having two healers in the same team can be like a waste of turns. Or well, unless you want to do like the Pestonia synergy, so you can have lots of heals and you can assure your team that there is gonna be always at least one heal ready to use in case of emergency, like an enemy moment is trying to burst your damage dealer, like your CC or something like that. But unless you want to do the combo with Pestonia to always have a heal ready to be used, or the combo when you want her to help Yuri to do a little bit of extra damage, you can play Lupusregina with whoever you want in any kind of composition that you can think of in both early or mid game, and it will work. Late game is not really great, especially when we have healers like the Anniversary Albedo or like Pestonia herself, for example. Those are kind of like healers that outclass Lupusregina on late game or high level play. But if you want to use her, you can still use her. Outside of that, we can check runes, but I assure you I have nothing really great. As you can see, these runes are nice, like yeah, over level 100 and so, but they're just giving HP and defense. There's literally nothing really great outside of the tidal runes. That is the effect here. That basically what it does is that if the HP of the priest, or in this case of Lupus Regina, drops below half her HP or 50% after acting, instantly recovers 6.1% of max HP. Like for example, if she's almost at half HP and she has a burn effect, or she has shock as a status effect on her, her turn comes, she, I don't know, she heals with the second skill, but all her team are in low HP, so the extra healing goes to her teammates and not for her. Well, this rune will activate and will give her 6.1% of her max HP back, so she doesn't die so soon. Basically, that will be all. Runes, you get random runes every time you farm them, so you cannot really prioritize what to give her. Relics, Vermare or Hellfire set, either for having heals more often or increasing her healings every time she heals. And relics, basically HP, defense, magical defense. If you can also give her speed and effect resistance, give her that. Not not attack, Not crit, not critical damage, nothing of that. On enhancements, impeccable for the critical damage resistance and healing up. Basically, it's a healing boost. And um endless cycle for more HP. That means better healing for her. If you can also give her things like impenetrable fortress that increases her physical defense, well, also give her that. And that will be all. Like I think tomorrow I'm gonna be showing one or two teams where she can participate and have a nice performance. So I will be doing that. And next character will be Yuri on the guides. Well, this version, the SR, the original version of her. So that will be all. If you have those, you can comment them. I'm gonna answer as soon as I see them. Tomorrow, the one or two themes where she can perform well. That one is basically a play at team, and another I think I'm gonna try to perform the Pestonia theme or another one, maybe another one just to try and show what you can use as an early game theme. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I perform one play at team and one early game team with the free characters or some of the free characters and easy to get, so you can basically see how to use her. As a conclusion, basically, she is a solid healer, and that's basically what she is. She doesn't excel at anything else more than healing. She just heals and heals and heals. It's flat healing. No extra buff, not invulnerable. Well, at high level, she can give you effect resistance boost, but that is literally everything she can give you. So that will be all. Thanks for watching and hearing my voice. And until the next guide.